some of my bitches. If y'all watching today, welcome. First of all, before we get started, if your grandmother is up and your kids is up, tell them take their punk ass to bed. Because right now you are checking out Girth every Tuesday around 9ish. But it's getting close to. Well, today we had some technical difficulties. I had to use the bathroom. It was very technical. My plumbing was fucked up. Listen, well, my sewage was backed up. Anyway, so how we gonna do this is we always do. This is grown men conversation with a twist of lime. The twist of lime is the women that is added to the ingredients of the show of Girth. Okay, so today. And not only today, but it's going to be like this for a while. We are going to be upgrading. The new year going to be a motherfucker. So I hope y'all going to stay tuned because the new year going to be something special. I'd like to make an announcement before we get started. Share, like, share, follow. That's the cheat code to your life. And March 1st, in case you don't know, the Hub 2 is coming on March 1st. We adding 7 more suites to our what you call that? Catalog.
Yeah, I guess.
He like, yeah, I guess.
I guess. Nigga, I'm trying to post this shit.
Why I look like a black ass Santa Claus? Jesus. Shout out to black ass Santa Claus, y'all. Give us black ass Santa Claus a round of applause. It's Merry Christmas. Okay, to the left of me, I got the one and only, the bigger homie, the one that's bigger than me, and it's only because he's a real true G of the 205. We get live all the time. We crank and do the thing.
You rapping now?
Grind. Yeah, I was trying to, but you done fucked me up. My man, the one and only, the one who subsides on the east side, who ride down on $5 box hoes. I hope y'all are ready for my man, who do what he do. He go by the name of Q. Lewis!
What up? You already know what it is, man. It's your boy Q Lewis holding it down live.
For the 48205,
man. Red zone, baby.
Gang, bitch. Bam. and to the beautiful young lady who's sitting next to him, she ranks supreme over queens over all. Fuck Cleopatra because she's bound to fall. When it comes down to it and you want to hear or you might get slapped, let's give it up to the one and only, the one we call Cap.
Cap, yes. My name is Cap. Welcome in, y'all. Just coming in and sit on down, get you something to drink. We're about to have a little conversation.
Yes. And the one who behind the ones and twos, who bring us to you on the tablet or your phone, give it up to the one and only. My little bro, Joe. He's being shadowed today by Miss Monique Heath, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, give her a round of applause. I said, give her a round of goddamn applause. Oh, and the one who's peeking in right here on me, the one who getting us all cold and funky with the funky cold drinks. She gave me something to drink right now called Stinky Poo Poo. The one that Stinky Pinky.
I was gonna say I don't think that was it.
That's beautiful. Look at that.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little poo poo. She go by the name of Funky Cold Medina. Okay, shout out to
Joe. Where am I at? It's like on a delay.
It ain't real time.
Yeah, it worked.
So we drinking, y'all. And anybody who I would like for y'all, don't forget Medina. Give us some tips because Medina ain't here for free. I'm just gonna let y'all know that right now. Okay, so we don't have right. So the topic of the day is what we. Oh,
yeah,
oh,
Chef on there.
hold on. I gotta get his proper
introduce
too.
Chef.
Hold on. And the one who been ghosting us for the past 3-4 weeks. He ranks supreme over all prime ribs and all. Okay? He make the funkiest French bread of shrimp you ever tasted. His shrimp have shrimp right on the bread. That's right. Here's the shrimp giving birth. We have the afterbirth of shrimp right on his bread. He go by the name of motherfucking Chef. What up, though, Chef?
Yeah, we're gonna cook it up tonight with what I believe to be pretty needed but hot.
Okay, well, Chef, since you got the hot topic, tell us what's going on.
The show topic tonight is don't fall for fake bait.
I can't hear him.
He said, "Don't fall." You, of course, you can't hear him. You got no headphones. It's called fake bait.
Don't fall for the fake bait.
Okay, so when you say fake bait, now you talking about fake
So,
titties and ass, or you just talking about fake people?
so when we first started this platform, even though
Yeah.
we play for it right now, it was supposed to be a platform for men.
Right.
So just information about. I want to talk about all of us tonight about man having some standards, right? And it's kind of funny because one of my real good lady friends told me, and I had to laugh. And she said, "Yeah, ladies got to start bringing more to the table this than sweet potato and you know to the table, right?"
No, you gonna
Uh,
say it. If you just saying quit, just think you gonna bring some pussy to the
well,
table, and that's gonna be it.
basically they got to bring more to the table than sweet potato pie and pussy.
There you go. I agree. Straight up. Yeah, you gotta. I agree. You gotta bring a credit score, in the bankroll. Come on, go ahead,
And
Fred.
so we talked about this. So she was like, "Wow, you man spend so much of your time building your dynasty, building your brand, right? Who are you bringing aboard? Are they gonna add to it or tear it down?
Right.
Right? So before you even go that direction, we just need to start having some standards, and it's okay because even with the ladies in the room right now, I know if they ever had someone come on their team, I would like to say that if things wouldn't work and they say, hey, this is not working for me, you know.
Right.
Oh man, we got to get to that stage where we are saying, hey, this is not working for me. We can be friends. We can just end it right here. Because you like with the guys that I look at around the room tonight, I don't see Don, but I
He
know
on his way.
everybody is building some type of legacy or some type of dynasty, right?
Right.
Just don't want to hand it off to anybody.
That's true.
So just how I know the guys in the room right now. I know you guys had the standards. Maybe just to share with other men, questions to ask, things to look for, even for the ladies also. Just standards to look for, and a quality woman to be in your life and stuff, and
Right.
guys to be okay with that. Because after you peel off the hair, the nails, the eyelashes,
Say once you peel it
finger,
off.
the clothes. I mean, what do you have after that, right? So it has to be, it's like peeling a burger down. You take everything off the burger still got to have some taste, add something to the
You
dish.
can't hear him.
So that's
Yeah.
all we're talking about tonight and how to be okay with that.
Right. I figured it.
So,
So yeah,
yep. So I'm going to ask you,
yeah. I was gonna say I know you gonna start it off.
yep. No, I said, so I'm going to ask you,
Oh shit, me.
what are some of your standards
I just,
when
I
you
just, yeah, I just got
like,
standards now. I didn't have standards before. We was talking about this before.
I didn't eat.
Before we
Yeah.
got on air, damn standards. But now, I think my main standard is I know it's important though, right, for her credit to be good, because I'm working on mine and mine is good now. So I think that's always important. But I think the main thing for me is just a standard of having her own ambition. I think that's the standard that's like really lost. Because you got people who, like you said, we all trying to build our own empire, trying to build the things we doing. So you get with somebody who don't have a clue or no kind of plan on where they trying to go with their life. It's going to either bring you down or you're going to start spending too much energy putting into theirs where you could have been working on yourself. So for me, that's my standard now. It's just I got a high standard on that. Like if you don't have no goals that you want to achieve or something that you thriving for, then that's gonna be a red flag. And just like you said before, women always they always able to be like, all right, this not working for me, I'm out. Dudes sometimes we be settling. Like we start chilling, the pussy good, she look good, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm gonna let shit slide. Next thing you know, you in a 6-year, 7-year, 8-year relationship with somebody who don't have no ambition, and then you looking crazy. So and then you all mad, and that's how bitches be getting beat up and shit. I'm just saying, probably. I don't know. I'm not sure because I don't be beating bitches up, but I'm figuring that's probably how that shit happened. But for me, that's my thing though, Chef. I don't know. That's me.
Hey, Chef, I just want to know: do you got like a filter on your screen or something? Because it's like you like in like La La Land, like your filters are. you all greased up and shit. Like
No,
Don
I
came
don't know.
He need to
What
clean the
I
lens. Are
wanted
he
to
using
do
his phone? It's probably the phone.
because it's probably my phone, but I'm sure you can hear my voice.
Yeah, I can hear
But
you.
I agree with you, Q.
Yeah.
And like the number one thing at the top of my list is somebody in their right mind. Your mental
I'm
health,
sorry. That wasn't even
right?
supposed to be funny.
Your
it
mental
just
health,
sounded funny.
right?
It's got to be in the right
Right?
mind. Yeah.
No, we
Got
want
to
you.
be
Go
in
ahead.
the right. See, and that's a very important thing. And I always told people, I said, no matter what happens, one thing you bring into your next relationship or somebody bring to the table is yourself, right? So I've learned in this season of my life, to sit back, work on me, right? So the next woman that come in my life, her mental's got to be right.
Yeah.
And my boys, we talk about that, and they may call me. They say, "Man, how's your mental today?"
Yeah.
And that's very important to lead with when you wake up in the morning. So at the top of my list would be mental health,
Yeah.
right?
And how do you assess that though? Because some people who dealing with mental health issues have been dealing with it for so long, they're able to conceal them. So like, how do you even determine if she got some shit going on for real?
Okay, so
That's
I
a
would
good
say what
question.
I've learned in this season of my life is to slow down and listen, right? Don't lead with your eyes because again, we lead with our eyes. If the package is tight, I
For
mean, we're
sure.
not asking the right type of questions. And then really, I don't even really want to know what happened in your past relationship. I really want to know what did you learn from it. So you get somebody talking, and you'll kind of learn about where their mental state is at, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Accountability is at the top of my list because I can't be with somebody who doesn't have accountability, right?
True.
Yeah.
Because you can't build with a person like that. If you make a mistake, especially if you building a dynasty, they may
Right.
mess up past, but you have to have accountability for it,
Yeah.
right?
I own that
Uh,
shit.
right. Because like I said, you just can't hand this over to anybody. So that would be at the top of my list.
But
Um,
but
but
I
that
would. But Chef,
is right. And I need somebody who's, I would say, one of the standards I would have that's chasing purpose and not cash.
most
And I know
definitely.
Yeah.
Miles talked about that before. I can't be with somebody who chasing cash because to me that means you're going for the highest bidder.
Right.
You know
What,
that.
what, well, Chef, I would like to say one thing for sure. I'm 50. You've been in the 50 club for at least 2 years. I would say right now I give a less. I
Actually, I'm 54. I'll be 55.
okay. Well, you the
I'll
first
just
man.
good, but
Okay. So hear me out. I give a less damn with. I don't lead with my eyes. I'm not gonna lie. I lead with my brain because I need someone to stimulate me mentally. Because
yeah.
the ass can go flat, the titties can go back, but at the same time, I can't
Go back.
Yeah, titties can go back. Them boys can be 1 minute they be 1 minute they be cassava melons. Next thing you know, they can be change purses.
Change, not to change first, though.
So
Old school grandma changed.
right, the one like baby. Anyway,
Give me my change.
like when she take off her shirt, that's what the titties say, baby. So at the end of the day, though, seriously, I need a woman that could stimulate me mentally. I like a woman to give me ideas. If a woman can't give me ideas, that means she have no idea why we even together. So all in all, I have understand. No matter how much a big of a freak I am, I understand mental stimulation means everything to me because as I expressed before, I believe I said on the show, like when God give you, when you working with vision, you working through God's eyes, right? When you working on what the fuck you want, you working through your eyes. You see what I'm saying? So when a woman can give you an idea, a vision, you know what I mean? It makes you think better of her in your relationship because she's saying something to you, making you think, making you respond to what she said. Then she making you work at it. You feel me? That's how I like it. Like an ass and titties mean nothing if the mouth can't work properly.
More ways than one.
I'm talking about.
More ways than one.
the mouth working properly in the form of communication.
I know what you're saying.
Joe,
But it
freaky ass Joe.
It worked for either one, though, right?
Yeah, well, a good brain is a good brain. Anyway. Hey, look, Don was like, I'm out of this shit. I'm already going to get argued.
Q was being philosophical and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't know Don.
Don just walked in the door. Peace out, brother.
What's up, Don?
What's going on, Chef?
When it comes down to it, I'm honestly, Chef, I give a fuck less how a person really look. I'm looking at more to do they bring me peace, and I think any man's peace should come from a woman. This is my belief. So,
Yeah.
Don agrees. So fuck.
I don't know. You know, Don been putting together. He been putting together words.
Nah, you ain't gonna leave me hanging on camera, nigga. Yeah, thank you.
He put
Damn.
together words about 20 minutes. I'm trying to. You see how he be?
I made a post
I
earlier.
agree with you 100%. You kind of got to.
Shut up, goddammit! Oh, I'm sorry. I had to say that properly. It was meant to be said. They shut up.
Makes you say.
Not you, Chef.
Oh, okay.
No,
So I agree with you know, what you guys said, but you also, like, before you start looking for standards for somebody else, you know, I tell my kids now, I said, know who you are so nobody can tell you who you are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you really got to know yourself, and then you look for some standards. Because if you search yourself, you'll understand what your standards are for you, right? And your dynasty, your legacy, whatever you build.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Don, what you were saying?
So I was looking for it. I was gonna pull it up, but I made a post earlier about a couple of things recently that I felt was real interesting. Obviously, sometimes we go through life and we hear sayings and we hear things, but I feel like as we grow a little wiser, we can receive a different revelation from things. And I guess I would like to add to what when I came in, what Q was saying. Patience and humility are a few things that I'm looking at now. Like, I feel like sometimes we pay attention to a lot of things that are kind of obvious, but some things aren't so obvious. And I feel like I was listening to something earlier today, and a guy was speaking, and he was basically saying how people who lack patience, they lack love. And he said that people are patient with things that they find value in. And I thought that was interesting because he said, when Black Friday come around, you have people that are wait outside in line in the rain and the snow. They don't care. They out there in a blanket. They'll spend the night.
Facts.
And
they will sit out there patiently. Why? Because they know whatever is in that store is something of value to them, right? So it got me to thinking earlier, and I'm like, man, when I think back on some of my relationships, what were some instances where I displayed patience and what were some instances where I didn't?
Right.
And I when you put it in that perspective, again, lack of patience oftentimes is lack of love or lack of seeing value in something. That's pretty much what summed it up. There's sometimes we in relationships where, we our patience grows thin,
right.
And it's for one of those two reasons. Because if we really truly saw value in someone, we would be patient with them.
Sure.
And if we truly love someone, wholeheartedly or just, in a way that, we really truly felt like, hey, listen, I'm not going anywhere and I hope this person isn't going nowhere, we probably would speak to them a little bit differently.
Yeah, I agree.
And so, I don't know. For me, those two things I definitely will start paying a lot more attention to because, they're definitely a piece of the puzzle that, sometimes we get in relationships and, we looking for women that's going to grow. We looking for people that's going to help us with our purpose. To me, all that's good as well. But what happens when you're in your growing season and she's in her living season, or vice versa. All right, what happens when you meet somebody and they like, you know what, I'm just out here living life right now, and that's what I want to do. And you in the stage where you like, well, you know what, I'm in a season in my life where I'm looking forward to growing and being better. Sometimes they don't mix.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And it can if there's some patience and understanding.
Gotcha.
But sometimes, believe it or not, that shit don't mix. You got some people out there that just like, look, I ain't trying to learn shit right now. Leave me alone. I'm trying to live.
I'm just out here living life.
They're like, I don't want to hear none of that shit. You getting too deep for me. Fuck that. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to hear that. Because, again, they just in that season. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with the person that's in that season where they want to grow, and there's nothing wrong with the person that's in that season where they want to live.
Right.
To live.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chef.
No, I said I agree with Don 100%. And it all depends on that season, how intense it is. You may have to say, well, shoot, I'm going to let you go ahead and live right now, right? And, so go ahead and live, and then we'll get back. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because if you in a growing season, like he said, sometimes that don't mix. I've dealt with that, right? So sometimes you have to say, and that's why in the beginning I was talking about men having standards, since we started this off as a man platform. Sometimes you just may have to say, hey, look, this not working for me. Or like Don said, hey, go ahead and live your life right now. I'm not season, and if it's meant to be, it'll come back. Just as easy as that.
I hear people say that shit all the time. If it's meant to be, it'll come back. I don't know about that shit. Sometimes if it's meant to be, that shit just don't ever come back. You just fucked up.
You just missed it.
They just missed out. It wasn't meant to be.
They're gonna say it wasn't meant to be then.
Yeah, I mean that's what you just said. So we got two women that's definitely on our panel, and yes, this is a man's talk show with a twist of line. So, and the reason I said twist of line because men is always going to have the more men on the show than there's women, of course. But the twist of line is coming from the women's perspective. So when you look at it, I just want to ask. I'm gonna start with Cap. Cap, from what you heard, what do you think?
Basically, from what I heard, my top thing and what I agree the most on is patience and peace in your house. There is no way that you can go out and battle all the demons you have to battle when you are out in the world. You got to put on that breastplate, plate of Aaron, and go out in the world, deal with everything you got to deal with, man or woman, and come home and fight all night. So that is like, I think my biggest thing is that I like to keep a peaceful house. If it's something that needs to be discussed, there's nothing wrong with communication. Why can't we just talk about it? We don't have to yell about it. We don't have to scream about it.
Yeah,
all we need to do is talk it out. If we can agree not to agree. But a lot of times, unfortunately, a lot of people only know what they know, and it's, nobody's at fault, but it's just a learning process to get out of, I do what I've seen done for years.
Wow. So, Medina, what do you feel, what you heard about so far?
I have not been privy to the entire conversation. I cannot hear what Chef is saying.
What we talking about, penises, big or small?
Oh, well, big or small, we do them all. No job too big, no job too small.
So Don, tell us basically so far, explain to Medina what was said.
Yeah, summarize.
Summarize it up for us, please.
Right, designated summarizer.
Designated summarizer.
That's funny as hell.
Nah, break that shit down.
No. He's like,
we break that shit down.
Let's go through Philippians chapter 12, 13.
To be honest with you, I really. Q made an interesting point, and Q, if you can kind of just reiterate your point, I think that might sum up a lot of stuff. In a short
I like we
sentence.
can pass some shit off on each other.
I'm dead serious. I like your point that you made when I first walked in that door. I thought that was interesting because it just put me in a deep. If you could repeat that.
Yeah. So literally, all we're talking about is like, not going for the okie doke and shit, having some standards, right? So my whole thing was, my standard is just being with somebody who has some sort of ambition, right? And then not wasting your time with somebody because, like, you know, the pussy good or whatever the case may be, and then end up being like in a long-term relationship and find out that you've been mad this whole time. Like, that shit really happens.
So in your case, not pussy but dick. So it is not getting lost up in the penis perspective.
Right. So basically, what would your standards, you know, be in that case and shit? I think women's standards are going to be a little bit different though. So I think this is going to be interesting.
So what? Okay, so what would my standards be in
a relationship? Like somebody you dating, like what are your standards that somebody needs to live up to?
Oh, well,
we gonna be here all night.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I don't require a whole lot as far as like what y'all talking about.
But do you think that's a problem though if you don't require a whole lot? In a sense, I'm just saying. So
when I say I don't require a whole lot, I think that I mean like I don't require extra. Like I require most of the things that most women require, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm not extra. You know, I'm not too extra.
And what are those things? Because you know, there's only 2 women in here. So what are those things?
Man, no, you know, you on social network. They talk all day. Them women, they tell you what they need all day.
What do you need? What do you need?
Well, okay, so with me,
I need a man with 3 jobs.
No, I just like a driven man. The way his mind works, and how he resolves issues, how he tackles issues, how he listens, that type of thing. Those things are important to me.
Okay.
I have a comment. You said you need a man that's driven. This may not apply to you, Medina, but I am starting to hear a lot more women say that I need a man that's driven. Okay, and in my mind, I'm like, driven in what sense?
Because I'll tell you what sense.
Let me finish. There are plenty of men that I know that are driven when it comes to making sure that they are great fathers, brothers, uncles to their family. Mm-hmm. Then you have some men that are driven in a way where it's career, it's business. Yeah. Okay, you have some men that are driven in terms of, hey, I'm hustling. You have some men that are driven in terms of, hey, you know, I have some type of, I'm some type of artist, you know, whether that be singer, performer, whatever. Mm-hmm. When you say driven, specifically, what matters most to you? Because I'll be honest, and the young lady stopped me outside and said this to me. A lot of people know that I act, but truth be told, you know, I'm oftentimes more focused on making sure that, you know, my children, my family, my uncles, my aunts, that, you know what I'm saying, that I'm being of service and of resource to them. Like that makes me happy. You know what I'm saying? And yes, acting is a passion of mine, but just in terms of my purpose, I really do feel like, you know, just being a man and being the best version that I can be of myself, setting that example to my daughters and my family, that means a lot to me. Right. I don't know if a lot of women value that. They say they do. So when you say driven, Medina, what do you mean?
Gotcha.
I say driven. When I say driven, I really think that a person who is a person who is driven is more than likely just that kind of person, like a person who is driven.
So
to anything,
in every
to whatever
category.
they decide to tackle. You know, when he's noting all these different instances where a person may be driven and then may not, but I think that it's just all depends on that person's interest. So you would be with a person whose interest aligns with yours. So when they're driven, or you both are in a driven mode, y'all driving to the same street.
Yeah, but I see what Don's saying though too. So like, both of you guys are driven, but let's say he is driven more towards the family aspect of it, and you driven towards the entrepreneurial, like, go get this money aspect. So both of y'all driven, but y'all ain't going to the same place. Mm-hmm. So like,
and that's what
I had a situation where I left a relationship because he wasn't driven, and it took a long time to realize that his lack of motivation, his lack of go get it, taking initiative and things like that started wearing off on me. His fears started wearing off on me. So in the end, years later, I was no longer the driven person who I started.
Look at Darth Vader in this moment.
I fell asleep.
He went all the way out on us.
I fell asleep.
He went to work.
See,
My bad, go ahead.
hold
I got your back, though.
Hold on. See, look, Q, nobody be saying that
I
shit
got
when
your
you
back.
was eating that goddamn pizza. You know,
Before.
I'm sorry. I got a little.
I had your back, though. That's all I just
I appreciate it.
I ain't say nothing to that. I just cut it off.
You just couldn't, but you embarrassed me, Q.
Only because you said something. You could have just kept going.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Medina, for my.
Yeah, no, I was just saying. So years later, I just I wasn't the same driven person. I had taken on his characteristics more than more or less. I was not as driven as I was when I met him.
Medina, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Was the dude broke? No, I'm being honest. Like,
Okay,
was
so
he a guy?
That's what comes with that mentality. That's what comes with that mentality.
Okay. And I think that's what boiled down to it.
What doesn't drive a broke? If you broke, and that doesn't drive you, what can?
Listen. And I asked that because there's a guy, I don't know if you guys heard of him, he go by the name of Reverend Ike. Okay, and Reverend Ike, he
Is that the one who said he eat pussy?
no.
Okay.
So Reverend Ike, I was listening to a sermon of his one day, and he's an old school dude, pastor, maybe in 70s, 80s, and he's talking one day. He said, women come to me all the time, and they say, Reverend Ike, I have a new man. I wanted to ask you a question about him. And he said, the first thing I asked is he broke? And he said, women look at me like I'm crazy. So he said that the reason why he asked that is because he said some women look for potential in a guy. He said, but it's hard to make love to somebody when y'all stomach growling because y'all ain't ate no goddamn food. Right? So in my mind, I say, damn, Reverend, I is keeping it all the way trill. You understand what I'm saying? But I say all that to say this. I think for a lot of us, for the most part, and this, for the most part, for a lot of men,
I want to hear the end.
You want to hear the end of what?
Yeah, because the guy came here talking and you was like right at the end.
Oh no! Reverend Knight said that again, one of the first questions that he asked women is, "Are you dating a man?"
I got that
broke?
part.
Yeah, and he said that you cannot make love to somebody when y'all stomach is growling because y'all haven't eaten any food.
I told him that.
Yeah, and so that was my question. And listen, I 100% agree with that in a sense that it's like, it is very difficult to, just live life if you have a lack mentality, right. And that's my thing. I think that again. In life, you're either going to have an abundance mentality or you're going to have a mentality that's based out of fear and lack. And I think that sometimes a lot of men and or women are not driven simply because they fear the unknown or they lack.
And I agree with you because here's the thing. Like when you're in a relationship and you're dealing with someone, right? And this in relationship. Oh, no. You don't have to be in a relationship. It's just a relationship with people, period, right? Mm-hmm. People always ask me all the time, well, Miles, why you tell people just to stop what they doing and do shit, right? But I think me and Medina talk about this all the time because a lot of people be fearless and shit. Can you agree that you're fearless a lot of times as far as doing shit? And I can say that I'm fearless as well. And I just can say that I'm back being fearless again because after my stroke, I became fearful. You feel me? Because certain things in my life, my illnesses would kept me back, right? And then my mentor told me one great thing. He said, well, son, pull up your bootstraps because shit always going to get deep. And it depends on how you shovel the shit. It's going to depend on which direction you should go. You know what I mean? So it made me understand the whole thing. Just simplified in life is that if you don't do shit, you would never know shit. You feel me? I tell anybody who come to me, you can always find a fucking job. you can't always live your dreams because your limbs and your brain will not always work the fucking same. You know, when people tell me I want to be a rapper, when they give you 56, I mean, you know, it's like if you never had nothing going on for yourself, don't. If this your first go, don't do it. You know what I mean? If you Johnny Kemp, well, goddamn it, you got a chance. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying that. I mean, Johnny Kemp. I mean, you know, but we just got paid. He get paid next week now. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, I'm just saying if you've done something before, it's more likely you can repeat the situation again. Right? But if you've never done something before, I understand why you're being fearful. Like being an entrepreneur is not that hard because it's just like swimming. Either your ass gonna sink or you gonna swim. And in life, fortunately, if you sink in entrepreneurship, you can always go back and get a job.
No, I agree with you, man. I think when it comes to that, yeah, I mean, my friends always joke and say I'm an adrenaline junkie, but I kind of equate that to just my life period. Like I'm kind of fearless when it comes to a lot of things. And it don't really bother me, like, to, you know, start something new or just start all over. Like, fuck it, hey, this shit ain't work. Let me go another route. Right. And a lot of people can't handle that. There are some, but I think even in that's another nuance of relationships. Because believe it or not, some men and or women need to date other people that are secure and safe. Some women cannot date a dude that he might, you know what I'm saying, have that fearless mentality and he jumping from shit to shit. They can't, it's too much for them. Some motherfuckers need that secure motherfucker that's just like, yo, Monday through fucking Thursday from 6 to 1 in the fucking morning, this when he gone and I can cheat and do whatever else. and I'm just serious. They need that level of security because that's what they know. That's the only thing that they know. And again, I'm not knocking it. Ain't shit wrong with that. But I think that the biggest thing with this is we just need to be honest with ourselves and ask ourselves, yo, can I handle somebody that may think outside the box than I do or think differently than I do? Right. You understand what I'm saying?
And if they can't, the best thing to do is just not get in another person's way.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you get
the fuck out the way, absolutely.
Because one thing for certain, two things for sure. If your ass get in someone's way, you give them a reason to have an excuse. I don't believe in excuses. Anybody know me like, okay, like my mother died. So after my mother's death, my mother died tomorrow, I really don't hear shit of an excuse that you have to say. Right. You know what I mean? I'm not telling anybody. I had a stroke, cancer, and COVID. If you want to be a punk bitch, be a punk bitch in your own time.
I say that.
No, anybody know me? That's just how I feel. When Joe first met me and Joe kicked off Will because Joe was like, "Well, goddamn it, all right, I'm with that." You know what I mean? Because people had this thing about. I might fail. Yeah, motherfucker, you will. Yeah. That's how you learn how to ride a bike.
Exactly, yeah.
That's how you learn how to swim. That's how you learn how to do every damn thing you know how to do because you failed at it.
Listen. And we say, and I say this unapologetically to the mothers out there that's scared to let your son fail. Stop doing that shit. You fucking them up. You ruining them.
You turn them into a bitch.
To the mothers out there that do every fucking thing for your son.
You turn them into a bitch.
You crippling them. to the mothers out there one thing I learned about leadership is leaders have to learn. They have to learn through trial and error at different points of their leadership. There's nothing fucking wrong with that. Right. And what I have noticed is that there are a lot of women who are raising men
to be a punk bitch.
If you again, not blaming women, but I'm saying, listen, you creating a vicious ass fucking cycle of men who do not know how to be solid in their decision making skills. Wanna know why? Because they ain't never had to make no fucking real decisions.
And they been the punk bitch.
Doing it too much for them. Stop doing that shit. It sickens me because again, how can we see so many women saying, listen, I'm not receiving the type of love that I need from men. I'm not receiving the communication that I need. I'm not receiving the empathy, the level of support and encouragement. Listen, this shit is starting off oftentimes at home from mothers who's saying, "Don't worry, I'll take care of this. I'll do this." Next thing you know, you got a grown ass man. He can't wash.
It's coming from
cook,
absent
or
fathers.
clean. Listen, you ready? And shout out to that as well.
I'm about to say.
Ain't nothing, listen,
mother
you
wouldn't
absent
be able to
father,
do
and
that if the father
you
was there.
not trying to be present in your kid's life.
You the
fuck you, and shame on you too.
That make you
Knock
big.
the fuck out.
That's why you a big bitch ass nigga. That's yeah.
Yeah, but and again, it's definitely. I agree with you, Medina. It take two.
It definitely.
But
take
I'm
two.
saying let's look at talking about some of the solutions. The motherfucker absent, he absent. If you there in the home, I applaud you. I applaud. Listen, I support single mothers who saying, "Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and do what I got to do." But just listen to me. Edification is not, or correction is never punishment. Stop doing everything for him and let that man learn how to make decisions on his own and be a man.
So he won't be no punk bitch. Listen, let's give it
say that shit.
Let's give it to me and like Joe, who's been married for 23 years. Shout out to people like Joe.
So,
who's been
you know
in
what? I
relationships his
agree
life.
with what Don said, and that's what leads to a man knowing what his standards are. So I agree with what he just said right there.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
foundation right there. Because you cannot have any standards, you cannot make any decisions if you have not been put in a place to make them. So I agree.
Yeah.
So
A
this
lot
the-
of them stop handicapping your young man that's going to grow into man, so they're not
Sure.
able to make decisions to have standards. So I agree. 100%.
Yeah.
Just stick
For sure.
up.
I feel where y'all coming from. So now I got a question though.
Go ahead.
So I'm just thinking now, like obviously, it's niggas who in that position, right? So once you figure out this is where you came from, how the fuck do you fix that? Knowing that this is what you came from, this is how you learn shit. How do you even address it? I guess and then fix
I'm gonna
it.
tell you how you address it. You realize another person that is a man, that is a true father, that is a true leader, and you say, you know what? Let me get up under his wing. You feel me?
Which can be tough.
Yeah, it
was
Because
can.
gonna
if you
say-
don't know what the fuck true masculine energy is,
Well-
you might not be able to handle that type of nigga.
Well,
You understand what I'm
well,
saying?
well,
Or that type of man that's literally willing to look you in your face
True.
and tell you, get up off your ass.
Yeah. Well,
Stop.
true, but here's what I got to equate it to. I equate it to me. My mother was my everything. She raised me. I was the only child. When my mother raised me, she said, "Son, don't never be a punk bitch." And when she
That's
said,
where you got that from?
Yeah, that's where I got it from. And here's why. Because I think the only person in this room who ever met my mother was probably Carol Cap. She probably the only person who met my mom's. And Jewel is probably another person. But my mother would not let me be a punk bitch for nothing in the world. When I say that, she did not let me have my way. I was not a spoiled kid. I was a spoiled child, but I wasn't a spoiled kid. Does that make sense to y'all?
I know what you're saying.
So she made me understand, said the reason why you getting this because you done that. She didn't just give me shit because to keep me quiet or no shit like that. You feel me? So as I got older, I found mentors, right? So when I look at strength, I'm not gonna lie. It's two women who I know who's in business, right? Medina and Tanja Ayers. Whenever you call them, they never say they not doing nothing.
Right.
Never once have I called Medina and she said, I'm not doing nothing.
Unless I ain't got up yet.
But that's very far in between. Same thing with Tanja. Don, you know Tanja. You know what I mean? There's never been a time that you could call Tanja and Tanja be like, I ain't doing nothing. She gonna either checking inventory, ordering, doing something. So my mother always said, Pete, whatever you do, keep yourself busy. When you get weak, keep yourself busy. When you are strong, keep yourself busy. And I still work with that to this day because I understand if you don't work at your craft, you don't really never get to the thing to where you can have people lead you. I mean, you can't lead nobody into your craft.
Yeah, I think he was blessed, Miles, because my mom, She was a hustler, and she had 2 older sons, 17 and 19 years older than me. And I'll admit, she kind of sheltered me from a lot of shit. She didn't want me getting in the same shit that they were into. Right. And what that led to was, you know, me kind of being a late bloomer with dumb shit. Yeah. Because I felt like I had something to prove. Yeah. And that was just my reality. You know, I was the dude in my neighborhood, like,
but
yo, I'm going to school.
Is different. Everybody's reality is different.
And what she did was she stressed the academics and all that other shit. She wanted me to kind of go a different route from my brothers. But again, like, fuck that. Like, life ain't going nowhere. Sometimes we got to get out there and see what life is all about. We can't shelter right
as men. Yeah. I can agree.
And, man, there were times in my life where I got into some shit that I probably shouldn't have got into had I been privy to what motherfuckers be out there really doing.
Right. Yeah. Medina has something to say. What you about to say, Medina?
Well, I just had a small issue with, I have a small issue with people blaming women who raised boys on how they act as a man. I do.
Well,
because they don't, when they get a self-sufficient man who's doing everything right or seemingly doing everything right, they don't be like, oh, you know, that was the mother who did that, you know. But if they get somebody who they, like you said, a punk bitch or something like that, the mama made them like that.
No, the mother didn't make them like that. What happened was
allowed them to be that way.
No, a mother sometimes
because punk bitches are born every day.
True.
Hold on, this is really important though. I just want to clarify something.
Yeah.
The comment, and I'm gonna just speak for myself, Medina. The comment was, if you are a mother that is doing everything for your child.
Yeah, that's what he said.
There are plenty of mothers out here who are not doing that. I'm not speaking to them.
Right.
There are plenty of mothers out here that's definitely doing their best to raise that man to be a man. Yeah. All right. My mom raised me.
Some men raised punk bitches.
No. Some men too. I want to talk about that. We was talking about the women.
He didn't say that, so I want you to
Just to twist the line.
Specifically speaking to the women who are allowing young men to not be men. Yeah. They telling them who they interfering in their relationships.
True.
All right, listen. It's some women out here. It's some fucking grown men who don't even know how to fill out job applications. Because mama doing it for them all life. They don't even know what clothes, they all kind of shit. The shit's getting ridiculous. This ain't Italy.
I know a 37-year-old man right now, his mother still ironing his clothes. Now listen to this.
No, man.
No, hold on. Listen, hold on. I'm gonna tell you
Did
the
he have a
truth.
stroke or something?
No, I'm gonna tell you.
Some women just feel like they just have to do that for their grown kids. They do. I know women like that.
So
still cooking and cleaning and washing and everything else.
Medina, there are some punk bitch ass men that raise punk ass bitch boys, right? And the reason why
it's a ratchet ass daughter.
It's a ratchet ass daughter. So what I will say is that some men, their sons turn out to be punk bitches because they were punk bitches. Okay, women have the tendency to coddle their boys for protection of their future.
Yes,
for them not to get hurt and all that things. And even so,
shot, killed.
Right. And if you ever get a chance to see a woman teaching her son how to ride a bike, it makes me cringe. Right?
Let that nigga bust his ass.
I'd be like, let that nigga fall.
For sure.
I've seen plenty of mothers try to catch their child before they fall and they scratch themselves.
Right? Now, wait a minute. You ever seen a mom sitting up trying to make her son tough? And she's sitting up there really emasculating him. I'll never forget, I went to the fair one time. This little boy couldn't be no more than 3-4 years old. And the mother said he was crying. He didn't want to get on a roller coaster ride. I'm in line with my daughter. Kids look about the same age. She said, "You gonna stop that fucking crying. You been a little punk ass motherfucker." And I mean, to me, you think you making him tough, but you emasculate the old man. You get what I'm saying? Exactly. And guess what? He gonna grow up. get a crazy talking ass bitch that's talking to him like you is.
You'll kill her.
And he gonna end up in fucking jail, losing his temper and all that because that shit only lasts for so fucking
He
long.
gonna fuck with that first because he think that shit normal.
So I'm standing on what I'm saying when I say, again, I applaud all the mothers out there that's doing all they can for their family. That's some much deserved credit that's needed to be said. But I'm saying, listen to us men when we tell you women, don't do everything for your son. Like Miles said, if you teaching him how to ride a bike, him or her how to ride a bike, fuck that. There's gonna be some times we got to scrape them fucking knees up, scrape his toes up, and fucking hands up, and everything else. I guarantee it. He's gonna learn how to ride that motherfucker.
And the most important, he'll be able to learn how to teach his child soon or somebody else. Because what I've learned in business, right? I don't know. I posted something. I don't know if anybody's seen it. I posted something a couple of days ago. I said, entrepreneurship is not a 5-day type of deal. You're not an entrepreneur 5 days a fucking week.
Right.
You're an entrepreneur every single fucking day.
All day.
What'd you say?
All day.
All day. Because, like, no matter anybody tell you about me, I think Don the witness himself, like, he'll see me, I would still be up from the previous day. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Only because our oppositions, they feed off of that because they know they can take an 8-hour or 12-hour fucking nap, right? But they have somebody to come right behind them and take over what they were doing. And then that person can take a 12-hour fucking nap and overlap. You know what I mean? We don't do that because our people don't like discipline. Our people don't like the fact that something they're taking accountability over. You know what I mean? We don't like to take accountability over the shit that we do. You know what I mean? Even we'll take the glory, but don't want to tell the story or live the story.
Or Miles, how about this? And this go for you, Medina, and everybody else at the table. At the end of the day, when we face obstacles in life, they force us to make decisions. Yeah. All right? There is nothing wrong with having some adversity. And here's the deal. At the end of the day, nothing against any race, whether you be man or woman, but I'll just say this. The things that we as black men will face in this world are not the things that black women face, and vice versa.
Right.
All right. That's not to say that one is tougher or one's tougher than the other. It's just to simply say they're not the fucking same.
True.
So if you keep that young man sheltered from facing any fucking adversity, what decisions will he make when he gets his own family? You understand what I'm saying? A wife or child, and he don't know how to handle fucking adversity or tough times. But we just built different, and we got to handle shit different.
But I agree. But most people don't look at it like this. Like, do you know there are particular laws that's written for women and not for men? Right? And so, I mean, there's business laws that's written for women and not for men. Women hit a double minority, right? So when in fact, like if I call Cap or I call Medina and say, hey y'all, let's get this contract. I'm not talking about them two personally, right? I say, hey y'all, let's get this contract. This contract worth $480,000, right? The first year, the second year is worth $1.2 million, and the third year is worth $2.1 million.
Damn.
Do you know that task cannot be lifted because of the mentality of what white men has placed in black women's mind? Have you ever noticed that with Medina?
I was dreaming.
About the man.
I'm not even gonna lie, I was daydreaming.
So what I'm saying is, white America has.
She drinking tonight. What? I didn't get my drink. I want some of that shit. Medina drink.
I got you.
You got red and pink shit all on your. What the fuck is that?
She about to make one. So what I'm saying is, the government has chosen the black woman to be the perfect weapon against black men. Okay, and with that being held, we look like punk bitches when we try to fight that part, right? And it's sad that we can sit at a table right now that we could talk about it now, silently. When I say silently, because we're on Facebook, we're on our own websites. You know what I mean? On the average, maybe at the end of the month, maybe 1,200 people gonna watch it, right? But we are a nation of 49 million people, and no one's fighting for the laws of black men, as we all know.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So if you look at the killings that happened in the past 15 to 20 years, you only can name 2 black women who've been murdered. Not saying we want more, right? But you only gonna say, I forgot her name, Sandra Bland, and there was one more black woman. I forgot her name. It's in the
Breonna Taylor.
Huh?
Breonna Taylor.
Yeah, Breonna Taylor. So it's 3. So it's really 3. So what I'm gonna say is this: it's 3 compared to 40. You understand what I'm saying? Black women say when black men stand up, well, every black man that stood up got shot down.
They-
They didn't gun Angela Davis down. They ain't gun Rosa Parks down. You know what I mean? The list goes on.
Right.
But when you name our greats, they've been gunned down publicly.
Public.
That's fair.
Again, it's just a different. There's a different journey that we face as humans, as men and women.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's important. Again, this is all men show, and so I think it's important that as men we address that. I know that I have nephews, and I have a brother or 2 brothers, and it's important for me to constantly stay in their ear about truly understanding, what it means to be a man. And it's not to take away anything they've learned from their mothers or any of the women that's, similar to you, Miles. I've had so many women in my life that have been instrumental in just teaching me all kind of shit. I don't care what it is. And I'm very appreciative of that. But again, at the end of the day, man beget man, and it's important for us as a community to just start listening to one another, to simply say, hey, listen, this is what you bring to the table, but this is what we bring to the table, and it's important. And please, listen to us. We not, you know what I'm saying? Yes, Miles, I think you're making a great point. Like, women want to protect their sons from things happening to them, but there also becomes this point where it's just like, you coddling him so much that you're crippling him, and he will not be able to stand on his own too as a man and be able to have there's nothing worse than when a man gets a certain age and he's having hard times in his relationships and his dealings because a woman does not want to follow or trust his lead. That could really be hurtful to a man. It's just like, shit, what am I doing wrong?
Right.
He ain't learned no better. He don't know no better.
And I totally agree with you. Here's the thing that hurts me the most when it comes to the relationship of black men and black women. We have been purposely targeted. Right? In America, black women have purposely took the bait. When I say took the bait, they chose the bag over. They took the bag over the family.
Absolutely.
And it's not because. It is not because it's because they.
Thank you, Medina.
They went with a rational, emotional decision instead of a thing that stands and roots and ground us. Okay. The government said if your man is living with you, we cannot help you. So that woman looked at her children and say, "Baby, you gotta go."
Yeah.
Because in the world of Christianity, women are taught that the children are more important than their husbands. When in fact, if they would have looked further in their Bible, it would have shown that the husband is more important than the children. And a lot of time on both ends, the man has not. Most men don't like to argue and debate with their wives. Most men will say, "Okay, baby, I got you. Don't worry about it. Do it." You know what I mean? Okay.
Unless he a Cancer.
That's a good one.
Cancer man like to argue?
It's like a motherfucker.
grief.
Like,
Dog, my nephew.
That's some good talk, man.
Word for word.
so in most cases, I think on the Rising Ground Morning Show we said who compromising more most, men or women, and the first thing the woman said, women, because we the children and the babies. I ain't say shit about babies and children. Right. Who compromise the most in the relationship? It's the men. Man. The men are more quick to say, okay, baby, okay, yeah, no problem, we'll go here. You know what I mean?
I can agree to that.
Yeah, I mean most women will agree with that, but the truth of it is when it comes down to the implementation of the knowledge that's being brought forth into the children, women will not put that into their daughters. The women will say, "Baby, you just do what feels right for you." And sometimes you just gotta do what's right. You know what I mean? Feeling has nothing to do with it. Your emotions has nothing to do with life. Because I swear to God, when a bullet is coming at you, that's not fucking him. Your ass better duck.
Right, ain't no emotion involved in that.
You better get the fuck out the way. It ain't no decision to make but to move. Right. It's only one decision to get the fuck away. And most people say, I said, treat everything like it's a bullet. Then you understand better in life what it's meant to mean, what it's meant to be by living. You feel me? Because you rather get shot in the shoulder than the chest.
Right.
So, hey, you know something?
That's where it came from. You dodged the bullet. You dodged the bullet.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
But you know something I want to say, and when I thought about this topic, this is amazing because everything that was said, it leads back to the topic. So it was a lot of men out here and some women listening to this, especially for the men, and everything was said was right on point, right on point. So when we get back to having standards, a lot of men don't know how to have standards. Um, Maybe because they were raised by a woman, and it's not a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Don says sometimes some of these men are not ready to be around a real man, right? It's just gonna lay it on the line, right? It ain't like mama that's gonna wipe off your knees. You know what I'm saying? You fall down like you were saying also.
Kiss your boo boo.
Boo boo. It ain't about that.
And lay
You'll
your
get
head on her bosom.
publicly. Look, if you don't have no standard, you publicly seeing yourself assassinated, right? So everything that was said tonight, man, is right on point. I love it, right? So you guys, if you listen to this, I hope you were taking notes, and women also, right? And this was just wonderful. Everybody has something different to add, and I believe this is what this platform is all about. It's not one person view, but you're gonna definitely walk away with something, right?
For sure.
And in this show, if you walk away from something, you just weren't paying attention.
Right, and most importantly, like as I explained, what I try to explain to people before when they say, "Well, what is Girth about?" I said it's a wide angle conversation. I said because don't get me wrong, all the men just don't agree because we men. You know what I mean? But
sometimes we don't agree.
Right. Majority of times we don't agree. But at the same time,
because we all coming from different,
aspects of life. But one thing about us, we still understand reason.
Facts.
And
that's the whole point of the conversation.
Right. And if you understand reason, like I tell people sometimes you have to meet people where they are. Don't try to meet people where you think you should be.
And sometimes leave their ass there too.
Sometimes leave that motherfucking ass right there.
When you know it,
right.
Because anybody know me, I'm not kissing nobody. It's just really hard for me to kiss somebody's ass. Now, before I kiss a dude ass, I kiss a woman ass because maybe it's a communication gap. You know what I mean? So I might say, hey,
You kissing that ass.
Joe, you an ass eater, though. It's the difference. Joe he's an ass eater. Shout out to Joe, that's my guy.
But on some real talk, Miles, if and this for everybody, I love being listening to you guys. If I just hearing this, I've grown, and I thought it's been a year, but it's been less than a year, I guess.
Less than a year.
It's less than a year. Just having you guys around, and even at my age, I've grown a lot just in this short period of time. And I have to say, when I look back on some of my decision making, I'm like, damn, I could have made a better decision on this.
True. Facts.
Had a more watchful eye on this. if I'd have had that back then, but it's okay because now we feeding other people so they don't have to go and be where I was at or maybe where somebody else on the panel was at.
Right.
So, I want us to continue. This show was on point tonight. I love it. And I look forward to this new year coming up. I know it's going to be some new hot topics,
Fire.
coming through. Yeah.
I wanna add to what you were saying too, Chef. I was thinking about something earlier, and it just struck a nerve with me personally. But to all the men out there and the young men, as you go through life's journey, really take your time to think about what it is that you want.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I have had, and I'm just gonna use relationships because that's the first thing that came to my mind. But I've had some good people around me, but I wasn't ready to have them in my life because I didn't know what I wanted. And not that I regret that, but I definitely look back and that was just a tough lesson that I had to learn. At the end of the day, one of the most powerful things that we can do as men is be decisive and concrete in knowing what the fuck we want. And I'm not even just speaking about women and relationships. I'm just talking about fucking period.
Yeah.
And I mean, like now that I've had to go through that, as I move forward, just a personal thing that I've had to say to myself is, yo, Don, like, start being, solid on what the fuck it is that I want. What do I want to get out of this, period. If not, get it the fuck away from me.
Yeah. And just to piggyback on that, not only being solid on it, but acting on that too, though, because you can be solid in making a decision and still stick it out in a goofy ass situation. Like you done made a decision in your mind, like I ain't fucking with this, but then you still in it. You know what I'm saying? So even though you make that decision to be concrete in it, you got to make your actions match that shit too, though. And a lot of niggas don't do that shit.
Yeah, because a lot of times people, like in most cases, anybody know me know I move in small groups. You know what I mean? I don't move in large groups because I've learned my lessons. I had my accountant here earlier today, and he said, "Well, Miles, I've been trying to tell you this for years, but you was always trying to help everybody. We'll go out and you want to pay a bill that's $1,100. You know what I mean? I was like, well, these are my people. You know what I mean?" And I was thinking, like, no. He said, no. He was like, I always wanted to come aboard with you and be with you financially so you can learn, like. So what happened when I picked up a book today, like Why the Rich Keeps Getting Richer.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Right, there you go.
I have no voice left.
Right, but Robert Kiyosaki, but it was actually authored by a CPA. Mm-hmm. But my accountant is a master CPA. He has the highest degree you ever gonna get as a CPA. Mm-hmm. And so, what the point was, I just knew. I told him I'm not like that no more. You know what I mean? There's only a few people I got that I'm willing to work with. I said I'm not trying to have employees no more. I just want to have partners. Right. I am thinking like how Kevin Hart and Jay-Z do. Like, fuck having employees. Let's have partners. That means when they grow, when they understand when you grow, everybody grow. When the company grows, they grow, they make more. You feel me? Having employees, you're just paying for their time.
Right.
I need to. When this time when you have partners, you working with their minds, and it's different. John, I got that lesson from John. Y'all know who John Kinko is? By the name, of course, y'all would know who he is. Mm-hmm. He's the one who created Kinko's.
Oh,
when
I guess I could have.
When you could have thought for a moment. But anyway, what he did, he made everybody that worked for him a partner. Mm-hmm. Or quote unquote, he didn't have employees, he had partners.
Gotcha.
So when you come in and say, "Hey, why don't you just run me 40 copies instead of," you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They'd be like, "Shit, no, you ain't cutting into my share."
Right.
And it made sense, and I remember that, but. Those are the things that that Jay Don like this one. That motherfucker. That was good. Shout out to Funky Phil for dealing with these goddamn.
shit on the rim though.
It's called stinky poo poo.
No, I hope not. I'm not into stinky poo poo. Nothing stinky around this motherfucker.
It's called nothing something.
It's pink sugar.
Pink? Ooh, that sounds sexy, doesn't it?
Pink sugar.
Hey, don't that sound sexy when the chick like, you know what, baby, that's that pink sugar. Damn.
That's that sugar booger, baby. Sugar.
I don't want no sugar booger.
I don't want no sugar.
I like that one. The pink sugar.
Booger sugar. That's what it is.
You know what? I think I might. That's what I'm gonna start calling it with 2022. Let me get some of that pink sugar.
Give us some of that pink sugar, baby. So, or that flower bomb. Anyway, so at the end of the day, we really got to understand what we going for, and moving in purpose, having a purpose when you move is a good reason to really know what you're doing with other people.
For sure.
Yeah.
I know it's like 11 o'clock. We probably got to get out of here and shit. But I just want to say this thing too.
This our shit. We can do what the fuck we want to do.
About having standards in relationships, right? So, you got certain standards that you want your mate to live up to. But also, too, just going back to what we were saying about some single women raising sons. This is going to go across the board to single parents, period. Like women and men, right? I think not only do you have to have a certain standard for that person that you're dating or that person who's having your child, but at some point you got to have standards on the people that you associate with after that point. Because like if you're a single mother and you know that you got a deadbeat dude and shit, then I think that you do. I think there is a necessity to have access to some men who can like actually help out with this child. Just like for a dude, I think it's important if you got a daughter and you got a deadbeat mom, because don't forget it's some deadbeat moms out here that you need to have some standards on the women that you associate with as well, because they are going to be a part of these kids' life. So you got to be able to have standards all the way around with the people you associate with and the people you fucking.
Deadbeat mamas, they go freak hoes.
I read something earlier that said don't date a woman who you could not see your daughter emulating. Ooh. Like if you to have a daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit hit home. Sometimes when you're young and you laying around and you fucking and sucking, you ain't thinking about all that kind of shit.
Exactly. Right.
Then next thing you know, when you had that oopsie, all right, you had that oopsie in the heat of the fucking moment.
Reality.
Now all of a sudden, it's just like, wait a minute.
I ain't gonna lie.
This bitch is a super thought. She's a fucking superhero thought, bro.
My first daughter, mama.
What about when your kids mad at you for the daddy they got? And they get grown, get mad. Like, Mom, you know goddamn well you could have did better than this. Like, this guy ain't right.
Yeah, God damn.
When the children be like, Mama, I love, when they come with this, I love my daddy. But you said that about what? Mom, I would never treat you like that. Like, he got 4 more kids. Well, your daddy was a hoe, baby. If he wasn't a hoe, you wouldn't even be here. So that's one thing you got to think about.
So what that mean about mama then?
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Joe. You get what I'm saying? Daddy a hoe, but you fucking him.
Exactly.
Daddy ain't shit, but you fucking him.
She didn't find out.
Daddy ain't had no money, but you fucking him.
Mama ain't fucking a hoe for no reason.
Stop it.
Well, mama had a little thought. Mama had a
little. What happened to all that women's intuition shit?
Yeah.
Where all that shit at?
Because when we do it, you was a silly motherfucker. You ain't know she was like that. No.
Hold on. I got to hear Medina shaking her head. I got to hear what you got to
I'm just shaking my head.
Wow.
And then he's talking about that women's intuition. Then when somebody come to you like, I smell some bullshit, you like, that's some bullshit. Your women's intuition is off and all that other
because y'all shit don't work across the board.
And see,
it don't. Women's intuition don't work across the board.
Smell a hoe. He not acting like a hoe in front of you.
You know what? You're right, Medina. A man should be able to smell a hoe, but the problem is.
I smell some hoes.
Hold on, we didn't smell some hoes, right?
We smell some hoes,
but we still fuck them.
Yeah, we still fuck them.
Female hoes look different than male hoes.
Here we go. Look at the time.
You don't look like a complete hoe, but you are, and so.
Whoa! First of all, I am a scholar and I graduated from Montfort. From Moonfort. I graduated from Moonfort. No, but seriously, that's with a 4.9 grade average, right? Thank you. Gotcha. And wood chop. Wood chop.
That's crazy. They used to have that shit.
No, you slow.
You know what?
Wood chop.
Oh, you retarded.
Y'all remember I said
You
I
ain't get
had,
the
I wouldn't have that
I'm out of here.
transparency conversation.
All right, then. Thank you, Medina.
You fucking right.
Hey, hold on. Anybody who got cash out right now, please cash out Medina. Medina, what's your cash out?
It is Funky Cold World LLC.
Funky Cold World LLC. So if I can, if not, give me the money and I'll cash out.
Yeah, feed the needy.
that conversation.
Laugh, Miles.
So stupid. Thank you very much, Medina.
You're welcome.
Tell Larry
Just
I
to
said
kind
my
of fill
mind.
y'all in.
She out there trying to figure out if she want to drive away in the car or not. Should she risk it all?
Should I risk it all? All right, thank you, Medina.
You're
I
welcome.
had a conversation one night where I was like, yo, I was talking to my ex. I was like, yo, I just want to get everything off my chest. Period. Like if I, I just want to be completely transparent. If I lied, if I didn't, whatever it is that's on your mind, let's talk about it. I'm about to be 1,000 with it, right? And like you said, Q, they have some type of intuition, but that shit ain't all across the board. God damn it. All right, you know what I'm saying? Now, listen. I will say this.
She was halfway.
In the midst of us having this fucking conversation, we was together for a very long time. In the midst of us having that conversation,
I don't need her.
it got to the point where I was like, oh shit. I was like, damn, I did do that. Okay, yeah, I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? It was like a period of time where it was just like, all right, I want to end this. I don't know if this was a good idea. But I will say this. She told me after it was over, she was like, yo, it was like hurt and relief all at the same time. Because, and the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because I guess Medina said something that kind of sparked something that I had to say to her. There was some times where I was on some bullshit where I had to it's like motherfucker on your scent and you got to be like, yo, no, you ain't on the right trail.
Crazy, that old narcissistic shit.
I had to look her in her face and be like, yo, that one time that you was right. Yeah. And listen, I felt like I owed that shit to her because here's the deal, right?
You a real nigga for that shit.
No, that shit was embarrassing and fucked up.
Right.
That shit the grave. Fuck that.
But I said this, I was like, at some point, you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine, and it's for anybody. Imagine you laying next to somebody and you like, damn, you know what? I think this, and like the whole time they like, nah, fuck that, Q, you ain't right.
Yeah.
But you are right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, they had you thinking you crazy and you fucked up.
Yeah.
That's that narcissistic behavior.
I had
People
to
do it
own
all
that
the time.
bullshit, and it was. And listen,
Narcissistic
the fucked up
tendency.
part about it all was not admitting to her that I had to let her know she was right. It was me feeling like embarrassed and guilty and shameful. Like, damn, like why even let that shit get that far? Like.
Right.
My pride and ego was in the way where at times if I was on some bullshit and again I equated all to at that moment in my life like there's no other way of putting it. It was just lack of maturity, flat the fuck out. Like because again when you reach a level of maturity where you can own all your own bullshit, that's some powerful shit. And the truth of the matter is I was not at that level.
It's easier to do that. It's easier to do that once y'all not together though, right? Let's say y'all still together.
Fuck that it was. But I'm saying, like, I should have had the balls to do that shit when I was with her.
But, nigga, who got the balls to do that shit?
Bro,
like, you know what? You was right. All the hoes that you seen doing fucking get the fuck out of here. You know, there ain't nobody that fucking strong, bro. I want to be.
There's some strong
out
here, man. Listen.
I want to be.
What the fuck you mean?
But we're always stronger, though, I think.
Oh,
You best women.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, you ready? And maybe she was because she said that shit to me.
Yeah.
I ain't believe it. She said, Don, you could have been said this to me. But I fucking didn't. And listen, that's what bothered me the most.
Yeah.
Because I felt like she pulled my... Like, I feel like she's that one person that can hold that card over my head. Like, that motherfucker wasn't doing this. So from that moment, it was just like, yo, I need to... It was a growing moment for me. It stretched me. Because I was like, I don't want to feel like this. Because I ain't gonna lie, I felt like shit.
For sure.
Even having that conversation with her, but I felt like I owed it to her.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's
Yeah.
fair because a lot of times that's all we want. It's just a conversation.
Yeah.
Conversation.
A conversation and a nice ass.
What'd you say, Chef? I don't know what this nigga said.
Conversation.
Well, I feel like you know what I'm saying. Conversation, some good ass head afterwards.
I wasn't gonna say no head. I was gonna say dick.
Yeah, right. Let's listen to Joe. He been married for the longest. That's a good
All right, then.
I'm out.
Okay.
I know I said that before.
She had to pour
And she
one more
poured a
drink.
stiff ass drink.
A stiff one too, cause I don't know what to put it in.
She likes stiff drinks.
Yeah, this is going somewhere else. What you saying, Chef?
What you saying, Chef? So we can end it up.
I don't know, man. Y'all be all off the board, man. I forgot what I was.
Hey, Chef, I hope you don't got no.
But
I hope you don't got no shea butter over there, Chef. Go ahead.
Getting back to the topic, after listening to everything, a couple things stood out was peace, ambition, standing firm, and these some I think qualities that we look for in ourselves and we require. I think at the top of my list was now that I listened to it would be peace. It would be peace, and it would still have to be somebody in their right mind. I'm sorry. So, mental health is I've grown to learn mental health is very important.
Most important.
People, ladies, it's okay to go see a therapist. Some guys too, go get some help, please. But standing firm. And then with this conversation I heard before, man sharpen man like steel. And
it's iron. Sharpen
iron. Okay. So both of them polished.
Chef, I knew what the fuck you meant.
But
I think you meant to
say,
say that anyway.
that's what I meant to say. So what I'm trying to say, even at my age, you never stop learning.
No,
And
no.
you think that you know everything, that's when you failed already.
All the time.
So,
I just learned today because Don said this is a conversation you should be having while you're in a relationship.
All day.
I just learned that today.
I heard what
you fucking lying if I tell you it was some tough shit, but what's even tougher is not having the balls to just not even get yourself in that shit to begin with. I ain't gonna lie. That's I felt fucking crunchy. How they back in the day, I might be telling my age. I felt crunchy. I was sitting in front of her and shit. I was just like, I felt crunchy than a motherfucker. Like,
how about you just felt weak? You know what I mean? Yeah.
However you want to call it.
That's showing your age. Like,
I don't want to fucking feel like that no more. And that's just the end of it. And I think, again, like you said, Cap, I owed that shit to her. Like, because there was some moment where she was like, you ain't about to make me motherfucking feel like this.
Right.
And then
I had to motherfucking own my shit and was like, yo, that you was fucking right. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Was she older?
Who? No, she ain't older.
I mean, okay, let me take this. She around the same age?
Yes.
She was older. The reason why I say that most women mature faster than men as far as understanding comprehension, because in most cases we are given toys with bullets and playing and shit, and women get books. Girls, we give our girls books and we give our boys toys. So at the end of the day, their vocabulary, but definitely their responsibilities. I ain't even getting into that part, but women have more responsibilities with keeping up their bodies and stuff like that. Your mother explains to you, hey, when your breasts start to grow and start getting sore, that means you're about to come with menstruation. Which menstruation, that's how you wipe, that's how you clean, that's how you do everything. With boys, we ain't taught shit, but hey, clean up the goddamn bathroom.
Yeah, don't piss on the toilet seat. If you do, wipe that motherfucker off.
Right, so that's why still to this day, if y'all ever have a woman give y'all some head, they smell your dick first to see if it's funky, and 9 times out of 10 they're like, let me wash this off for you, baby. It's because most men penis head smell because that's where the bacteria infection comes from. Because we did not grow. I'm
Okay,
being
Ma,
Wait.
no, fuck that. I'm not buying that.
See, he
Got that shit.
He said this the other day.
I'm being honest with you. Most men do not know how to
He
clean
said
their
there's some grown
penis.
niggas out here don't know how to wash their
Grown ass men. That's why men still have fungus. Listen, women are still getting bacterial infections from their grown ass husbands because they don't know how to clean their fucking
For they
penis.
multiple partners.
Thank you, Chef.
Hey, I wash the fuck out my dick, bro.
They got multiple partners.
This
So I
motherfucker
would
gets steamed. I take baths, all
like
kind of
mustard.
shit, and
I don't know what this is.
yeah.
Yeah,
If a nigga got fungus on his dick,
I'm not talking about
dirty dick. No, I know what you said.
I'm not talking about.
Some niggas ain't clean.
I'm not talking about men your age or my age. I'm talking about guys that's 25, 27 years old. Trust me.
They ain't washing their dick?
No, they don't know how. They don't know how to wash around it. Nobody taught them to pull back their skin and ring their brim around and clean their brim of their penis.
Oh, nigga, I got grown sons. I taught them.
Joe, your situation is different. How many men that you know right now, father been in their life since how long have you been in your child's life?
I'll give you that. Because you know what? I was talking to Henri, and you know what this nigga told me? My homeboy told me that he literally one day was sitting around and he was like, damn. He was like, I'm gonna have to go in here and show my son how to shave some of his hair, like groom his shit up, so he ain't walking around here with the
musty balls,
with the gorilla balls. And, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, damn, I never had nobody show me that shit. I had to do that shit. And I'm still scared as fuck. I put a razor on my balls, like I use some other shit, but I use no fucking razor.
you gotta use the T-edgers. You gotta use the T-edgers.
No, crazy.
I put the liners down there. Gotta clean
I ain't cut my balls the same way I cut my face with.
You gotta use
I ain't put no fucking
I ain't cut my face, my balls in the same shit, my nigga.
First of all, this is not W balls. You know what I'm talking about. If y'all want to groom yourselves, get the lawnmower 3.0 that they show on
Bro, I've been thinking about getting it. That shit works.
It works very well. And they got,
It's the real thing.
No, it's a real thing. It's this new shit
It's
called
called the lawn-
it's like safe to clean your balls off with.
and it comes with
Or if
balls.
niggas got hair on their shaft, you know what I'm saying?
that shit clean.
And it comes with ball deodorant. So listen,
Lays like a smooth shaft.
it could-
I would feel bad if she was topping me off and all that shit.
That's that hair stuck right there.
Yeah, fuck
You
that.
started this shit,
bro.
Hey, this all men show. Hey, look, we said we not apologizing. This is men shit. This is what the fuck we gotta do.
we got hairy balls, goddamn. Give it up to hairy balls. You don't got no hairy balls?
No, I ain't got no hairy balls, bro. What the
Keep the
fuck?
liners down there, nigga.
No, I trim the fuck out mine, bro. I use no T-line, but I trim the fuck out my T-line.
Let me tell you something. This honest God's truth. I used to think that was gay as shit. I used to think it was gay. I thought manscaping was gay as fuck. I thought it was only for them porn.